I'm telling you right now, Dad.
You've been there for so long.
Don't do it.
That is not your mom.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome back to another episode of Spooky Stories from the Appalachian. These are some videos that were sent to me to react to, and some are straight from the Appalachian Mountain. I hope you're ready because some are really scary. Well, most of them are.
I genuinely don't know what to do with this information. Have you guys heard about the knot deer in the Appalachian Mountains? I did a video about the feral people that went viral, which you can watch up there if you want, and how it tied into a certain true crime case. But I dove back down the rabbit hole to find more info for you guys, since you guys have been DMing me wanting me to cover this topic again. And oh my gosh, what I found. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you follow my YouTube. I'm gonna link it up here because I don't know if TikTok's getting banned and I don't want to lose you guys. Without further ado, let's get into the tea. I am never camping on the Appalachian Trail. Let me just tell you that. Have you guys heard about the knot deer? So essentially they show up on those really dark roads where like literally all you can see is your headlights and the rest is just like nothing but nothing. You don't know what could come out. You don't know what could jump in front of your car. And a lot of people have been saying that while driving down roads in the Appalachia, they have come across a certain kind of deer that they believe to be a skinwalker or a cryptid. And basically these deers are the uncanny valley of animals. From far away, they look like normal deer, right? But the closer and closer that you get, the more that they start to change and shapeshift, like having more than 4 legs or their antlers warping. And people have even seen them walking on their hind legs, and not like to get things out of trees, but walking on their hind legs like humans. And they always have these like bright glowing eyes, and sometimes you can even spot a third one right here. Almost everyone that has accounted to seeing them said that they feel this like pit in their stomach, like they know something is wrong or something is going to happen. Me personally, after hearing the rules, right? Hearing the rules about mimics, and if someone calls your name in the woods, don't go in the woods. I'm good. I'm so good on Appalachia. I've even heard some locals saying that these are forms of mimics. You know, those things that knock on your door or try to get into your home and they take the form or voice of a loved one. Like, you know, those videos where someone will be talking to their mom and then they get a text from their mom saying, honey, I'm on my way. And they look up and realize that person's not their mom. That's what I'm talking about. And let me tell y'all, if even a modicum of this stuff is true, I am so good, right? I'm good. I'm gonna stay in my bed. No camping for me. I'm okay, because it's definitely giving familiar spirits or demons or something. Whatever it is, honey, I don't want to know. There are so many other creepy things that I have uncovered about the Appalachian Mountains. If y'all want me to start a series on the lore of this place, let me know and I got you. As always, make sure you like and follow and let me know in the comments what you think. Have you guys heard of the feral people in the Appalachian Mountains? I went down the rabbit hole of Appalachian Mountain TikTok, and let me just tell you, I'm freaked out. So apparently deep in the Appalachian Mountains, there are groups of people that are absolutely feral and practice cannibalism, if you know what I mean. Apparently a whole bunch of people disappear in this Appalachian Trail area, most of them without a trace. That brings me to the sad case of Dennis Martin, a 6, almost 7-year-old that disappeared in 1969 in the Appalachian Mountains after going camping with his dad. Let's get into it, guys, and you tell me what you think. So basically, Dennis and his dad had gone out camping and took a break and actually met up with another family. Coincidentally enough, had the same last name, Martin. So both of the Martin families sit down and their kids play with Dennis. They're chilling, shooting the breeze, letting the kids do what they do, and they start to do this hide and seek game, during which each of the children pops out in like a surprise kind of way. Now, when it was Dennis's turn, he was nowhere to be found. At that point, his dad shoots up and starts searching everywhere for Dennis, immediately freaking out, as he should. They had literally just took a 2-hour and 16 hike all the way to Spencefield. So Dennis could literally be anywhere. In the middle of all this green was a little boy by himself, scared. So immediately they all go to the authorities and explain what happened. At this point, everybody's looking. 400 people volunteered to look for Dennis, but to no avail because they never found him. Now, if you know anything about the lore of the Appalachian Mountains, a lot of people say that it's haunted and they often hear women and children / babies screaming in the woods. And people say that it's skinwalkers trying to get you to interact with them and go straight in. And we all know what happens when you go straight in. However, a lot of people don't think that this is paranormal at all. They think that Dennis was actually taken by the Pharaoh people, only because about a month after his disappearance, a man was in the woods that, might I add, he told the authorities, and they came and took a look themselves. Allegedly, the little footprint was the exact size of Dennis's feet, and the print was of the exact shoe he was wearing. And next to that footprint was a larger one of a bare foot. So at that point, everyone's wondering who would be out here barefoot with somebody that's wearing shoes. That doesn't make any sense. And shortly after this man found these footprints, he heard a piercing scream that sounded to be of a child from inside the woods. Now, some people say it's the piercing scream of the skinwalkers that wanted him to come in so that they can do things to him. Other people say that that might have just been Dennis Martin. I definitely wouldn't say this is directly linked, but let's just look at this map. So this bottom map shows the cave systems of the Appalachian Trail. This top map shows you how many people disappear per year on this trail. It has the same swoop as the swoop of the cave systems. Could it be that these Pharaoh people actually reside in these cave systems and use them to kidnap and do other things to travelers that take this trail? You guys tell me. Obviously, all of this is alleged. None of it is proven fact. But when I heard about this story, I had to cover it.
Anything? No, you didn't. What does that even mean?
So this is a story that I've actually wanted to tell for a very long time. And I went ahead and I reached out to someone to make sure that this was an okay story to share. And I got that permission, and so I'm going to share with you guys a story about this. The question that this gentleman is asking is, when you're in the Appalachian Mountains, people often say, if you see or hear something, no, you didn't. There's a common belief that there's a lot of unexplained or maybe weird or strange or supernatural experiences that you experience when you're living or are going through the Appalachian Mountains. So the story I'm about to tell you guys is actually published in a actual book called The Grandfather Speaks, which was told by an elder, published by Interlink Books back in 1994. So the story goes is that a long time ago, the animals, the animal nations, and the people, they all lived together in great abundance. That so many animal nations existed that many of them don't even exist to today. And they lived in this great abundance. What is now the Appalachian Mountains or the Ohio River Valley. And one of these animals was called Wakwawi. And Wakwawi means stiff-legged bear. It was the biggest of all the animal nations. It had these stiff arms and kind of lumbered around, and it was covered in really thick and coarse hair and had hide that was thicker than any animal. And from its face came these horns. And these horns, they say, were sharp as spears. And Wakwawi was by nature a mean and destructive creature. That for a long time, Wakwawi had victimized a lot of the other animal nations. And so one day they got sick of Wakwawi and his violence, and they decided that they were going to come together and make war against Wakwawi. So all the animals, and again, even animals that don't even exist anymore, they came together, the birds and the deer and the unknown nations, they came together to make war with Wakwawi. And the fight began. The battle began with Wakwawi. And they fought for so long, and there was so much death that they said that the land was stained red, that the rivers ran red with blood from the battle, the great battle. And despite them trying their absolute best, the animal nations started to suffer great losses. Even the great bear, like the bear who was the biggest and the strongest besides Wok Wabi, they came to fight, but they got wounded and needed to be removed from the battlefield. The creator sat upon a rock watching his creation make war with one another, and called forth the humankind, told the human nation, the nation of man, that they must join the fight against Wok Wabi to bring balance. And so the mankind, they joined the battle. But even though they joined the battle, Wok Wabi still was coming out victorious. After a while, when enough had been enough, the creator sat upon that flat rock on that hill and had lightning bolts and started to throw them at Wok Wabi. Started throwing and striking them down. One by one, they started to fall. They were running around and they were going crazy and still fighting with one another. That in this chaos, the Wok Wabi was so big that it started to dig into the earth, and it started to knock things over, and it started to trample really hard through on the land. And that's what they say created the rolling hills of Appalachia. It's the pathways that Wok Wabi would take when it would charge. And one by one, Wok Wabi started to fall from Creator's bolts until there was one left. This last one was the biggest and the strongest, and it came in sort of the charge right at Creator. Creator, it took that lightning bolt and threw it down there, and it bounced off of his horns. His horns, he knocked the bolt out of the way. He kept charging, and finally he got hit and he got wounded by a lightning bolt. It was so hurt that it started to kind of drag itself, and it ran north. And when it ran, it drug itself across, and that's what they say created the Ohio River itself, was the indentation of it dragging itself as it ran away from the battle. And it was up in the north that they became prevalent, that they became a thing. But in the area now, they were gotten rid of in the Appalachia area. After everything was said and done, it was then realized that so many of these giants, so many of these creatures were killed. So many of these nations that used to exist, ceased to exist, they fought themselves to extinction, battling Wok Wabi. That the blood soaked into the ground. And so when you go to like Kentucky and you go to some of the Appalachian areas, you'll notice that that ground has red clay. That red clay, they say, is the blood of those who died in that battle. And they say that the Wok Wabi remains are still to be found, and that nations later, like generations later after the war, that mankind continued to use tools from the remains of Wok Wabi. And when you see what the remains are of the Wok Wabi, you will discover that they look like this. That is what they have called Wok Wabi, and those horns that were coming out of his face were tusks, and the hair that it had was woolly, and that his stiff legs were that of an elephant, and that it was fought with all the animal nations and humankind. That great war was the fight against Mastodon. Before this time, the food was granted in the area. Food was given to the people and the nations within the Ohio River Valley and Appalachia. And one of those foods was the cranberry. But it is said that the cranberry was not originally red, but that it became red when it was drenched in blood from the great battle with Wok Wabi. And to tie this all together with the original statement, which is why, Appalachia is kind of creepy. And from the words of the elder who was quoted in that book, I read you this. This is why the land now called Kentucky was called the dark and bloody ground, because of all the blood that spilled there. It became a common hunting ground for various tribes, as no one would set up a village there, being greatly afraid of the ghost of those slain giants. We as North American people, generally speaking, have a greater knowledge of the myths and legends that come from overseas. But we have a creation story here too. We have mythologies here too. And I hope that this one made you happy a little bit and maybe sparked some thought and imagination as to why things are the way they are and why they feel the way that they feel with the land that you are occupying and that you live on today. So have a good night.
The only time that I have been truly terrified in the Appalachian Mountains as an Appalachian native was this one time my husband and I went camping with our couple friend, and we went primitive hiking and primitive camping, and they was late getting ready, and they brought a ton of stuff because they'd just never done it before, and we got there late because they were running late, and I stayed behind by myself to clear up an area that someone else had previously used for camping, and they went back to the car to bring back all the stuff they had brought. So we ran out of daylight. I'm using a lantern, and all of a sudden, as I'm chopping down these weeds so that we can put our tents down and I can build a fire pit, everything stops. The breeze stops. All sounds stop. The bugs, the animals, everything. I feel the hair on my neck and my arms just stand up straight in this feeling of dread, and like, I was done. Don't do that, y'all. Don't go out in the mountains by yourself, because you could just fall down and break your ankle and no one can hear you. It doesn't have to be any other reason. Then all of a sudden, and I've never heard voices in my life before that or after that. I don't have anything wrong that would cause that to happen to me. I was completely sober. I'm always completely sober. I hear voices, and it's like hundreds of voices just spinning around me in a circle, as if I'm just standing in the middle of a tornado of voices. Old men, old women, young men, young women, young boys, young girls, creepy, and I hear my name in them. And I'm like rubbing my ears, like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I just hunger against a tree, hunger down against a tree, and I start praying the Lord's Prayer, you know, all the prayers. And it took about 20 minutes before it stopped. And when it stopped, I said more prayers, and then I got up and I finished making the camp, and they came back. And you don't talk about it. You're supposed to leave the area. So I couldn't talk about it. There's no way we would have left the area that night. They just wouldn't have done it. So we stayed, and I didn't tell anybody what happened until we got back home. We stayed 2 nights.
A lot of people have asked me if Appalachia is really that scary. I'm going to tell you a few things that have happened to me personally. This is the house that my grandma grew up in, and this is what it used to look like when she lived there. Now that it's been abandoned for several years, it looks like this. Now this house is, I'm not kidding you, more than a mile up a dirt road on the top of a mountain. There's only one family that still lives on that whole mountain. And we've been up there quite a few times, but this was the very last time we've been up there. We were taking my grandma to see it, and we had like 10 people with us. But there was a fork in the road, and we couldn't figure out which way to go. So they had the bright idea to send me to go look. So I had to go quite a ways down this dirt path. And I was far away from the car and the other people by the time that I saw the house. And the screen door that's like right here just screeched open. And it scared me to death. That alone could have been anything. But a couple years before, I had got the bright idea to go up this mountain by myself. No one would go with me, and I didn't think I could make it up there in my car. So I was like, well, I'll just park at the bottom of the mountain and I'll walk this whole over a mile trek up this dirt path through the woods by myself. Well, the night before I was planning to go, I had a really scary dream. So from that house that I showed you, there's this long dirt path that leads to where the barns were at. And then you have to go up a hill, and here's the cemetery. In the dream I had, I was like down here, like looking up, walking up here so I could get into the cemetery. In my dream, this woman comes out of the woods, right out of the tree line, and she's just covered in black. She's got this like black veil on and this old, maybe like 1800s dress. And she just walks out of the trees and just like points like this with her veil. But I thought nothing of it really, and I went anyway. On my way there, I got in a car wreck. I just feel like something did not want me going up there. I ended up not going since I got in that wreck. It wasn't a bad wreck, but it was crazy. Maybe something worse would have happened to me if I'd went up there by myself. Who knows? The woman in my dream looked like the woman in the yard. You know what I'm talking about? That new movie that just came out?
Y'all wanted an Appalachian Mountain series, so let's get started. If it is nighttime or you are alone, you should probably skip this video. All right, let's set the mood. Are you ready? So to start off this series, we're going to be talking about two of the most creepiest things I've ever heard about the Appalachian Mountains. That is going to be mimics and not deer. I saw this creator talk about this story and I had to tell you guys. Her name is Annie something. I have to find it and I'm gonna put it in the comments just so she can get credit. So basically one of her followers was talking about how they lived in Kentucky, right? And one day they were playing with their other cousins. It was 7 of them total and they got bored and one of the cousins said, let's go play in the woods. Y'all already know that you should never go into the woods at night in the Appalachian Mountains because really scary things go down in the woods at night over there, okay? So one of the cousins is named Jeremiah. They decided to play hide and seek and he said he wanted to be the seeker first. So he runs off into the woods and everybody goes and hides. Now mind y'all, there's 6 of them besides Jeremiah. 3 of them go one way and 3 of them go the other way. They should have already known y'all should never split up. Hello, have you watched Scooby-Doo? Even Shaggy and Scooby wouldn't be in them woods. Anyway, I digress. So while the first 3 are hiding, they all of a sudden hear this screech from Jeremiah deep in the woods. They're terrified, shook. And right as one of the cousins decides they're gonna go into the woods to go look for him, they feel something grabbing their ankle from the ground. Turns out it's Jeremiah. And he's looking at them with like terror in his eyes. And he's like, I heard that too, but it wasn't me. So clearly y'all, we're dealing with a mimic. A mimic is basically a creature that takes the form of the person that you know and tries to lure you into the woods with either their voice, like crying or asking for help. And in this case, Jeremiah was screaming. Jeremiah in the woods was screaming, asking for help, but that wasn't him. Then the other 3, they also hear Jeremiah screaming from another part of the wood and they actually go in to investigate. And do y'all want to know what they see? They see a not deer. Basically, well, first of all, they see this huge dark silhouette rushing towards them. Y'all just imagine it's nighttime, right? And all you hear is,
That's crazy.
low key, I'm freaking myself out. Okay, so they hear that, they're booking it, bro. They run away and they end up meeting back up with the cousins. So now it's all the cousins back together again. And what they see is a not deer. Now this is what they see, the not deer. And a not deer is basically a deer that presents itself as that animal, but you find out at the closer you get to the deer that it's not actually a deer. It's a demon. So basically the deer is like turned around but facing them like this, and then it stands up on its hind legs and like skin starts falling from it. Once they see that, y'all, they are booking it out of the woods back home. They tell their parents about it and the parents are like, y'all shouldn't even been in those woods in the first place. Y'all know the rules of the Appalachian Mountains. If y'all want another video on the rules of the mountains, let me know because that's creepy too. Overall, when I heard the story, I was like, see, this is why you're never gonna catch me there, because I fully believe that those are literally demons / familiar spirits that are trying to get you. Me personally, I feel like the mimics are creepier than not deer. Like imagine being in the woods and you hear knocking on the door like, hey baby, it's mom, open the door. And then you get a call and your mom is like, oh honey, I'm running late. I'm not gonna be there for another 15-20 minutes. And you keep hearing, honey, open the door, it's mom.
Scary as
See, that is the shenanigans of a mimic. And I'm so good.
Gabe, you should come out. I'm telling you right now, Gabe. You've been there for so long.
That is not your mom.
Gabe, come out.
Now, Gabe, why'd you open the door?
Gabe. Gabe. Gabe, it's your mother. You should come out.
Then what's your name then?
You over here talking to the Luga. Welcome back to Luga.
That thing having a whole conversation.
This is part 2 of the last video, Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Lugaus. That's what I like to call them. Gabe. See Gabe right here?
Okay.
Gabe was over there talking to the Lugau when Gabe should have been praying and packing his stuff. Gabe should have been ready.
Why are you gonna stop? Because
as that motherfucker. And why you Gabe, let me ask you something. Somebody knocking on your door. Why your door not locked? It makes sense. Keep messing with these. I'm telling y'all, man. Stop.
For real.
You know, and you can choose to believe this or not. That's all up to you. You don't have to believe it. You know, everybody's experiences are different.
Gabe's like, what's your name?
But if it does happen to you, you know what to do.
You hear someone say your name? No, you didn't. Do not look out the window after dark, ever. Do not ever look at the trees in a wooded area. If you heard screaming or crying at night, no, you didn't. If you hear whistling at night, you need to lock and barricade your doors and pretend you didn't hear it. I think a skinwalker is pretending to be my dead dog. Did you know that these mountains are actually older than the rings of Saturn? I just got home from work and there's literally something upstairs mimicking my husband right now. In 2019, a deer actually stood up on its hind legs and asked me if I had any extra cash.
Gabe, you should come out. I'm telling you right now, Gabe.
You've been there for so long.
That is not your mom.
Gabe, come out.
Now, babe, why'd you open the door?
Gabe.
Gabe. Gabe, it's your mother. You should come out.
Then what's your name then?
You over here talking to the Luga. Welcome back to Luga.
Nothing wrong with the whole conversation.
This is part 2 of the last video, Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains. That's what I like to call them. Gabe. See Gabe right here?
No.
Gabe was over there talking to the Lugau when Gabe should have been praying and packing his stuff. Gabe should have been ready.
Why are you gonna stop? Because
as that motherfucker. And why you Gabe, let me ask you something. Somebody knocking on your door. Why your door not locked? It makes sense.
Point?
Keep messing with these. I'm telling y'all, man. Stop.
For real.
You know, and you can choose to believe this or not. That's all up to you. You don't have to believe it. You know, everybody's experiences are different.
Gabe's like, what's your name?
But if it does happen to you, you know what to do.
I'm currently being stalked and followed by a tree that is not a tree. And I know what that sounds like, but I do live in the Appalachian Mountains, so I feel like that explains itself, but we're going to get into it. Because I kind of left you guys in a weird space last night with some of my updates, and I just needed to sit down and film everything and just put it all together. If you don't need or want a backstory, skip to this timestamp of what happened yesterday. But here's a little backstory. So this started a few weeks ago when I was vlogging, just like working on my family's farm, and we heard a strange noise, we being myself and my husband. So we tried to pretend we didn't, we were just filming our surroundings, we saw this weird tree, it clicked to me that it might not be a tree, and we left. Well, later on, I get a phone call from a relative saying, I remember you talking about that tree. It's not there. So I make that update, and then a lot of you guys here on the comments were like, please go see if that tree's there. And even before that update, I was getting asked to please go see if that tree was still there. So anyways, this morning, I go. And the tree's in fact gone. It's been a few weeks. The grass has grown really tall. There's like a full tree there now. Like a bush, not a tree. But that tree, quotes, it's more like a giant twig.
Is he about to jump?
He dead. Welcome back to Moonblood Activities, y'all boys. He dead.
Is this real?
This is what you get for jumping in bodies of water that you do not know.
That's like the whole saying, if you see
saw your
someone
friend
jumping
do it.
off a bridge.
This is exactly what our mothers were saying.
I didn't say the same
If you see your friend jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off too?
Right.
You should have said no. You was one of the kids that said, yeah, mom is my friend, so if you do it, why can't I do it? Look at you now. Shark meat.
That's shark meat.
In between teeth being devoured. That shark just volleyed you. You just got volleyed.
That's just
You mooly. Not only that you about to mooly, but you about to get volleyed at the same time. All because of what? Ou devez faire folie. Ou devez faire folie moun fou, moun blanc. Look at you now.
I can't.
Bawon.
He got the Creole.
One ready to use cleaner.
Y'all see this dog?
trying to make sure that she makes the food correctly.
That dog has been here before.
Welcome back to the Lugauer series, y'all boys. Look.
What is this?
This is a Lugauer. This is a real smart Lugauer.
Like mean business.
He's looking to see if she's making the food right. This Lugauer done been deceived before. She probably don't put no seasoning, no ipis, and no sofrito in her food. And he tired. That Lugauer was tired of eating bland food.
I'm tired.
Look at him. He's just like he at work. He probably a sous chef at Applebee's.
He didn't even blink.
To be honest, he just got off his shift. He a sous chef at Applebee's. He supervising to make sure the quality of food is up to par for his stomach. I applaud him. Because if it was me, I'm doing the same thing. You deceive me once, okay. Twice, this look like it's a everyday thing. Please make that food right for that.
Is he about to jump?
He dead. Welcome back to Moon Activities, y'all boys. He dead.
Is this real?
This is what you get for jumping in bodies of water that you do not know.
That's like the whole saying. If you see
saw your
someone
friend
jumping
do it.
off a bridge.
That's exactly what our mothers were saying.
Yeah, he's saying the same
if you see your friend jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off too?
Right.
You should have said no. You was one of the kids that said, yeah, Mom is my friend, so if you do it, why can't I do it? Look at you now. Shark meat.
That's shark meat.
In between teeth being devoured. That shark just volleyed you. You just got volleyed.
Not just
You movie. Not only that you about to movie, but you about to get volleyed at the same time. All because of what? Vous devez faire folie. Vous devez faire folie mon fou, mon blanc. Look at you now.
I can't.
Bow.
Got the Creole.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to sender. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. as long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.